We'll discuss about meetings now. Good day friends. Today's topic is on the discussion of meetings, especially on general meetings I am going to discuss here. What do you mean by meet? Is nothing but an event. What is the meaning of meet? Is an event. That is, all the shareholders here meet. It's not only meetings takes place with respect to shareholders, meetings take place with respect to board of directors also. There are other class meetings, there are debenture shareholder meetings. So we have so many meetings taking place. Why we need to have this event? Yes, when we have a company form of business, we know that a company is a separate legal entity once it is incorporated. So once it's incorporated, the Companies Act says that it is a separate legal entity which gets the separate status. So when we talk about separate status, the Act also talks about there are a group of persons who take care of the company's management. That is, there is a separate management also. So the shareholders, we the shareholders invest in a company and we don't know what is happening inside the company. So it's mandatory for every company to conduct an annual general meeting every year. So it's named as annual general meeting. It's named as annual general meeting. We call this in short as AGM. Also, this annual general meeting is especially meant for shareholders holding equity shares. So in short, we call this as shareholders meeting also. So either we call this as AGM, annual general meeting, and shareholders meeting. Apart from the shareholder meeting, we have many other meetings also, board meetings, debenture holders meetings, and so many classes of shares are there. So we have so many meetings taking place in 1 year of the company's life. But still, here goes with very important case with the annual general meetings. Why it is important is when I talk about a company, it's getting incorporated and is separated from the shareholders. The ownership is separated from the shareholders. Only during the winding up time, the shareholders can own the rights of the company. So apart from that, we have many rights where you can go for attending the meeting, which is nothing but AGM. Right to get the notice for his AGMs. We have so many provisions here. So with respect to this, we will go to talk about annual general meetings here. We'll go for annual general meetings, right? I'm going to talk about 3 C's and 2 P's. 3 C's and 2 P's. When I say 3 C's, every 3 C's have 2 P's. Every 3 C's have 2 P's. The first C here is called. The second C here is convened. The second C is convened. Third one is conducted. So there are 3 C's. First one is called, second one is convened, and third one is conducted. Every C has 2 proper points. That's why I'm mentioning here is 3 C's and 2 P's. 3 C's, called, convened, and conducted. And when I go for talking about 2 P's, 1 C, the first C, called C, has proper authority as 1 point. P is for proper. Proper. Second one, proper notice irukano. Yes. When I go for the second C, convene, it should be with separate proper quorum. It should be with proper chairman. The 2 P's under this C. When I go for conducted, there should be a proper business. Yes, first P. And there should be proper recording of minutes. Yes, second P. So we will be discussing 6 points here, 3 C's and 2 P's in detail. Let me go for the first C, which is called. When I say a meeting is held, the first point to be checked here is whether it is being properly called, which means that whether it is properly intimated to all the shareholders or auditors or whatever it is, because it's meant for shareholders. The shareholder meeting, there should be a proper notice to the shareholders. And who has to call the meeting? Yes, we have to talk about proper authority. So the first C, the call, talks about proper authority and proper notice. Who is the authority? Obviously, when a company is incorporated, we have a separate management. The board of directors take care of the business activities of the company, right? When I say proper authority, we'll talk about 3 persons here. One is the board of directors, one is the members, and another one is the tribunal. Board of directors, members, and tribunal. Board of directors are eligible or are the proper authority to call AGM or EGM. AGM is nothing but annual general meeting. EGM is extraordinary general meeting. When I say extraordinary general meeting, It's not a normal meeting taking place. There may be some other meeting which has to be taken place in between two annual general meetings. So we need to talk about EGMs also. So let us talk about EGMs here. Fine, excuse me. So let me talk about EGMs also. So when I talk about proper authority, we have the board of directors who is the proper authority to call an AGM or an EGM. When I go for the proper authority as the members, if the board of directors are not calling for a general meeting, then the members may have the authority to call for the EGM. So when we discuss EGM in detail, we discuss this point. Then the next proper authority who is here to call is the tribunal. The tribunal, in case the board of directors is not holding a meeting, is not planning to hold a meeting, will go for the tribunal, or the member requests the tribunal to conduct the AGM. So AGM or EGM will be conducted by the tribunal also. So proper authority here is board of members, board of directors, members and tribunal. What point you have to note here? Very, very important. These 2 points has to be taken note here. The first one, no single director or individual has the authority to call the meeting. Yes, I am the director of a company, and along with me there are 2 more directors. So 3 directors are there. So shall I individually as a director call the meeting? No, definitely I cannot. No single director can call for a meeting. When I say proper authority, I just take the whole board of directors and not a single director. Next, it should be sanctioned by the board of directors. Should be sanctioned by the board of directors. When I say proper authority, the board of directors together will hold a board meeting. Then they'll they'll go for placing the draft notice in the board meeting. After that only the persons are authorized. Probably company secretary is authorized to sign the notice of the meeting, or the managing director or other directors authorized in the board meeting to send the notice. So it should be properly sanctioned by the board of directors. If there is no sanction given by the board of directors, there is no proper authority to call. Right. We need to check with proper notice also. We need to check with proper notice also. How you come to know a meeting is held in a place? Definitely it's a very big question. Without knowing the intimation or information from the public, will not know a meeting is going to be held in this place. So proper notice has to be sent. And one interesting fact I can discuss about annual general meeting is, many think that carrying a suite of bag out of the general meeting hall is a fun. No, this doesn't end here. Just carrying just carrying a sweet box, coming out of the hall, having a tummy full of meal, no, doesn't stop here. We have lot of provisions discussing to be held in annual general meeting. So this is the second point, proper notice. When I say proper notice, it has to be given 21 days before the AGM is to be held. 21 days. Usually we will not say this is 21 days. We say this is 21 clear days. We say this is 21 clear days. Other than 21 clear days, because it takes at least 48 hours if the notice is sent by post. Register's post or speed post, if it is sent by post, we assume that it takes 48 hours to reach the person, and once it has reached the person, it has to have a gap of 21 days. That's why we say it's a 21 clear days, right? What has to be there in the notice? Yes, the complete content has to be mentioned. Date has to be mentioned. Which place is going to take place has to be mentioned. On which day it's going to take place has to be mentioned. The time of the meeting has to be mentioned. So everything has to be given in detail. Is that necessary that it has to always have 21 days clear days? Not necessary if there is a shorter notice consent is given by 95% of the members. So 95% of the members will be giving their consent, saying that shorter notice is sufficient. So in that case, 7 days or 3 days or 10 days notice period may be considered here. Next, to whom the notice has to be given? To whom the notice has to be given? To the director? Yes, you may ask me. Only the directors have been sanctioned here. Again, you have to send the notice to the director. Yes, definitely to the director. Next, to the members, because it's after all the shareholders meeting, register of members book will be available, and the names and details available in that register of members will be taken considered here and will be sent to each and every member. And there is a case here. When we talk about register of members is the details which contains who are the members of the company. It does not contain who are the shareholders of the company. Again, there is a controversial thought. Only the shareholder or the owners or the members or the owners of the company. Yes, here goes with the discussion with respect to closure of records, closure of books, books closure. The act says that when they go for closing this books, register of members book, on an aggregate 45 days is the maximum number of days a books has to be closed, and for one time it should not be closed more than 30 days, This closure of books takes place, closure of books in the case sense that I am talking about registers. So this registers is being closed to take the updations. So probably a company may be planning to declare a dividend in this meeting. A company is planning to issue bonus shares in a meeting or rights shares in this meeting. So who will be eligible for this bonus, rights shares or dividend? In that case, we want to know who are the members actually present. So there might have taken place of transfer of shares or transmission of shares. Those all things has to be updated there. So the members here we make the sense with respect to the members name entered into the register of members book. Then, and also to whom? The legal representatives, LR. And also to whom? In the case of insolvency. See, legal representative case happens in the case of death. Okay, the legal representatives. Official assignees, in the case of insolvency, if anybody is insolvent, then there is a rule where the official liquidators or official assignees take place of their role. It's an operation of law, so it should be sent to the official assignees and also to the statutory auditors of the company. So the notice has to be sent to these persons. The act says it's very much compulsory, the notice has to be sent to these persons, and apart from this, secretarial auditors, so we say auditors, it's a wider sense, we talk about cost auditors, we talk about secretarial auditors, and also we talk about statutory auditors, right? In case, if I have a member in my company, Mr. X, he is such a disturbing person in the meeting, he will not sit in one place, he just roams about in the meeting, he makes so much of disturbances. So I am just thinking as a board of director, one of the board of director, I am just thinking, I need not call him for the meeting, he is just a disturbing person. He just holds one share but asks us 10,000 number of questions. So I am just thinking, I am not going to call this time for this meeting. Is this a proper decision taken by the board or taken by the board of directors or one director? No, the act says generally members, which means that to each and every member whose name is registered in the register of members book has to be provided the notice. So the notice has to be sent to each and every member. So if it is intentional, if it is intentionally done, the meeting is invalidated. See, we are discussing about these 6 points, 3 C's and 2 P's, to say the meeting held here is valid. If any one point is not properly taken care of, it will become totally invalid. So in that sense, if a notice is not sent intentionally to one person, it will invalidate the meeting. First one. Okay, accidentally it is not sent, what happens? So it's all manual errors or some system problems, it is not accidentally sent. What will happen? No, still the meeting is valid only. In case non-receipt of the notice, yes, it's a very important case. Many shareholders attend the meeting and they say, I did not get the notice. I just came to know from the word of mouth from my friend. So that's why I attended the meeting. So many say that I did not receive the notice. Is that so? Yes, that also happens in that case. But here we have to check with respect to company's point of view. Company sends the notice and it gives 21 clear days of notice period. So in that sense, not receipt to one particular person. So in case Y has not received the notice, but there is no intention from the company's side to not to send the meeting. So it is not the problem of the company. So non-receipt of the meeting will not invalidate the meeting, which says that it is a valid meeting. It's a valid proper notice. So under the first C called, we have discussed proper authority and proper notice. Here comes the next C, which has to be properly convened, which means that properly the meeting has gone on check pandrathu, right? First we'll go for proper quorum. Just think of this joke in Tamil movies, you might have heard. யாருமே இல்லாத கடையில யாருக்கு தான் டீ ஆடுற அந்த மாதிரி தான் ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் மீட்டிங்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸே இல்லாமல் எங்கே மீட்டிங் நடத்துறீங்க. ஸோ the act requires a proper quorum here, first thing. And who is going to lead the meeting? Who is going to chair the meeting? Yes, we need to have a proper chairman, proper quorum and proper chairman. Yes, when it goes for the quorum, how many members has to be present? After all, this is a members meeting, so members has to be present. When we say members, it's very important, members to be personally present. Members to be personally present. Okay. Act also gives a provision with respect to, while sending the notice, this notice has the contents with respect to agenda also, what is going to take place in the meeting. Okay, with respect to ordinary resolution or business special resolution, we'll discuss this in the next subsequent video. Okay, so we'll be sending the agenda and also the proxy form. In case one of the members is not or unable to attend a meeting, what happens? So there will be a proxy form also attached. So the member has to sign the proxy form and get the details to the company, give the details to the company. So in that case, when we talk about quorum, we'll talk about the members personally present. It's a very important word. It's a very important word. If the members are not personally present, we'll say there is no proper quorum, invalidates the meeting, right? So when it happens to a private company, 2 members are enough to form a company. So 2 members personally present. When we talk about public company, up to 1,000 shareholders, 1,000 shareholders, 5 members should be personally present. Okay. If it happens up to 5,000, 15 members to be personally present. If it happens more than 5,000, 30 members to be personally present, right? So up to 1,000 members, 5 to be personally present, 1,000 to 5,000, 15 to be personally present, and more than 5,000, 30 to be personally present. Okay. In case I have an articles of association of my company in which I have mentioned the number, in case for a private company I am having 10 members in the company, we request at least 5 members to be present. So in case it is mentioned for a higher number of quorum in the articles of association, yes, definitely we can have that, we have to follow with that. And with respect to public company, we can have higher number of quorum in the articles of association. So the access, this is the minimum requirement, and in the case of articles of association, if you require a higher quorum, yes, you can proceed. In case, what happens if there is no quorum? No quorum na members varala enna nadakkum? AGM la enna nadakkum? So we are talking about 2 GMs, right? One is AGM and EGM. So AGM na enna nadakkum? The meeting will be adjourned. Adjourned na next week la ide date la ide place la nadakkum. Okay, just think pani paranga. This I'm just holding a meeting in this place where it is na registered office la usually nadakkum, but my company holds thousands and thousands of shareholders. Then I cannot plan a meeting in the registered office. So what I do is I plan for the meeting in some other halls, like, so I book a hall where I can fit 1,000 members in that. So I book such a hall. So if the meeting is adjourned, what happens? Adjournment without any case, it will be adjourned to the next week, same date, same place, because the notice has to contain everything in detail. So in the same date, same place, it happens. In case the meeting hall is not holding, is not having a blank date, there is some other engagements are there taking place. So in that case, I cannot have in the same place. So we have to have a notice period of 3 days. So 3 days notice period. So 21 days is not required in that case. 3 days notice period. In case in that case, quorum is present, no issue. In case quorum is not present in this order, the members present will be taken as a quorum. Adjourn ஆயிருக்க meeting, adjourn ஆன meetingல number of members present ஆயிருக்கிறது check பண்ணணும். Not with respect to this numbers is enough, total number of present will be taken as a quorum. But you cannot say this with private company. ஏன்னா private company 2 member தான் இருக்காங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். அந்த 2 memberல ஒரு member present ஆனா you cannot take. So at least 2 members should be present, right? At least 2 members should be present. Next is in case of EGM. EGM is, if it is called by members, it stands cancelled. EGM வந்து board of directors call பண்ணலாம், tribunal call பண்ணலாம், members call பண்ணலாம். In case members call பண்ணிட்டு members வரலனா, yes, make the meeting cancel. Fine. So this is with respect to quorum. Next one, when I talk about quorum, I have to talk a few points. I have written the points here. I have to talk 2 additional points here, which is with respect to representatives. When I say representatives, few companies have president or governor as the members, right? See, everybody has the right to invest in a company, even a president, even a governor. They are citizens of India, they also hold the right to invest in a company in that case. So if a president or a governor holds shares in a company, In that case, any representative may attend. Representative of president or governor may attend that company's annual general meeting, and he or she will be counted as the quorum. Count for the quorum la include பண்ணுவாங்க. Second, body corporate is a company is an artificial person. அப்ப artificial person வந்து attend பண்ண முடியாது. An artificial person cannot attend a meeting. So in that case what happens is a board meeting has to be taken place. In the company la and the company la. For example, X is a company. So we are talking about X company's annual general meeting vechikalam. X is a company and Y company holds shares here. Y is holding shares, probably 10% shares, not much, 10% shares vechikalam. But Y being an artificial person, it cannot attend the meeting. Okay, so it acts through the human agency. It cannot attend the meeting. In that case, Y company will hold a board meeting. In that board meeting, board resolution will be passed saying that Mr. Y, who is a director of this company, Mr. Y is authorized to attend the annual general meeting of X company, right? To attend the annual general meeting of X company. In this case, in this two cases, these members, that is the representative of president or governor or the authorized director of this body corporate, are considered as members personally present only. Are members personally present. Very, very, very important case here. Members personally present, right? So when I talk about quorum, apart from these points, I have two additional points here. Please take care of note of these 2 points. Next, let me go for the proper chairman. Yes, without a chairman, a meeting will not be held valid. There should be a proper chairman. Before going for proper chairman, let me talk about proxy also. Let me finish with proxy, then I'll continue with proper chairman. So I need to talk about proxy because we were discussing here the contents of the notice will have an agenda, what business are going to take place here, and also the proxy details. So the notice will have a proxy form also. What the proxy here is, who is the proxy? He can be any person. Actually, a proxy is an agent to the member. He can be any person, okay? His status will be agent to the member, first point. Second point, he need not be a member. He can be any person, which means that he need not be a member. நான் கம்பெனியில் ஷேர் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன், ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் மீட்டிங் ஐ பர்சனலி அட்டென்ட். ஓகே, என்னால் போக முடியல, ஐ அப்பாயிண்ட் மிஸ்டர் எக்ஸ், he doesn't hold any shares in the company, so whether he is eligible to attend அந்த ரைட் தரோம்ல அட்டென்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு, ஸோ ப்ராக்ஸி இஸ் கோயிங் டு அட்டென்ட் அண்ட் ஓட் இன் த மீட்டிங். அந்த ரைட் கொடுக்குறோம் இல்லையா, அந்த ரைட் தான் அந்த ப்ராக்ஸி ஃபார்ம், ரைட்? அந்த ரைட் கொடுக்குறோம்ல, நான் அட்டன் பண்ண மீட்டிங்கை நீங்கள் அட்டன் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஸோ திஸ் வாட் யூ கால் as a proxy form. So he has the right to attend and vote, right? Fine. So he need not be a member, except in the case of Section 8 company, he has to be a member. Section 8 company la annual general meeting நடக்குதுன்னா அந்த கேஸ்ல definitely he has to be a member. Very, very, very important point, right? Next, for how many members a proxy can be? Okay, up to 50 members. Okay, ஒரு கம்பெனியில் 1000 ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க, அந்த 1000 ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸில் ஒரு ப்ராக்ஸி 50 மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு இருக்கலாம். ஸோ ஐ மே பி ஆக்டிங் அஸ் அ ப்ராக்ஸி ஃபார் X1, ஐ மே பி ஆக்டிங் அஸ் அ ப்ராக்ஸி ஃபார் X2, ஃபார் X3, X3 அந்த மாதிரி 50 பர்சன்ஸ் வரைக்கும் ஒரு ப்ராக்ஸி இருக்கலாம். இஸ் இட் ஓகே? ஆனால் அக்ரிகேட் ஆஃப் த ஷேர் கேபிட்டல், அவங்க எவ்வளோ தூரம் ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னா மேக்ஸிமம் 10% ஆஃப் த ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் வரைக்கும் தான் அலோட். ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு செக் வித் 2 points. ப்ராக்ஸி எவ்வளோ நம்பருக்கு ப்ராக்ஸியாக இருக்கலாம்? அப் டு 50 மெம்பர்ஸ், அண்ட் அலாங் வித் தட் he has those members together has to hold only up to 10% share capital. Yes, 2 points here. Next, the notice has to give the proxy form also. It's mandatory to provide a notice with proxy form, and the member who is going to appoint a proxy will give the writings and he will sign personally in that proxy form saying that I'll give the right to attend to this proxy X, right? Fine. Next, non-applicability. Yes, company having no share capital is not applicable. Company having no share capital is not applicable. Romba important point. Why it is so specific, company having no share capital na? Inga proxy enna rights? We have do's of the proxies here, right? Proxy enna rights paakumbodhu, the proxy can attend. Yes, we have seen here attend. The proxy can vote nu paathom. Yes, vote, but voting na rendu types of voting irukku. We have one voting by shares and voting by poll. There are two types of voting. Voting by shares irukku, voting by poll irukku. When I say voting by share, it's if I hold one share, I'll get one vote. If I get 10 shares, I get 10 votes. So this is 1:1. One share, one vote, right? If I have 1000 shares, 1000 vote, நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம் 1000 ஷேர்ஸ் 1000 voting பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பீங்களா? எஸ் பண்ணணும். அப்போ என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா ஸ்க்ரூட்டனைசர்ஸை அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸ்க்ரூட்டனைசர்ஸ் யூஸ்வலி அந்த ஸ்க்ரூட்டனைசர்ஸ் யாராக இருப்பாங்கன்னா சிஎஸ் தான் இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ வில் பி அப்பாயிண்டிங் ஸ்க்ரூட்டனைசர்ஸ். ஸ்க்ரூட்டனி பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஏன்னா எதுக்காக அது ஸ்க்ரூட்டனி பண்ணுறதுக்கு அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணணும்? எஸ்பெஷலி சிஎஸ் இருப்பாங்க. எதுக்காக அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணணும்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, நான் 1000 ஷேர்ஸ் வச்சுருக்கேன்ல, அப்போ எனக்கு 1000 votes பண்ணுறதுக்கு ரைட்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல. இந்த 1000 votes நான் ஒரே மாதிரி பண்ணணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு அப்பாயிண்ட் மிஸ்டர் எக்ஸ் ஆஸ் த டைரக்டர் ஆஃப் திஸ் கம்பெனி திஸ் டைம். இந்த எக்ஸை வந்து 60% ஓகே அவர் அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணலாம், ஒரு 40% வந்து ஓகே பண்ணலாம். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டைலமா இருக்கும்ல. ஸோ வாட் யூ டூ இஸ் அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் மிஸ்டர் எக்ஸ் அஸ் அ டைரக்டர். voting for இருக்கும் அகேன்ஸ்ட் இருக்கும். ஸோ ப்ராபப்ளி இந்த 1000 votes, the 1000 shares நீங்கள் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்கல்ல, அந்த 1000 sharesல you can give 600 shares for favorable to Mr. X. That is favorable to appoint Mr. X as a director, and remaining 400 shares you may be opposing that. So இந்த மாதிரி ஏன்னா because after all your votes, right, you are holding 1000 sharesங்கிறப்போ அப்போ voting by poll you are not personally present, but still you have the rights to vote execute பண்ணுறது. voting by shares na 1:1 அர்த்தம். if you hold one share, one vote. voting by poll na, sorry, I'm very sorry, this is voting by show of hands. voting by poll is 1:1. okay, this how many shares you hold and how many votes you gain. That is one share and one vote. I just got confused. So this is voting by show of hands. voting by show of hands. voting by show of hands na, if I am the member, I have to raise my hand. voting எடுப்பாங்க, resolution pass பண்ணும்போது voting எடுப்பாங்க. I have to raise my hand saying that favor against, favor against. So in this kind the voting will be taken. இது கை தூக்கி யார் vote பண்ண முடியும்? Who can raise the hand and vote? Definitely you have to be a member. So proxy can vote with respect to poll only, voting by poll only. Here in this case, when we talk about the dues of the proxy, he has a right to attend the meeting. Okay, he has the right to attend the meeting, but he cannot speak. Parangala don'ts. He has the right to attend the meeting, but he cannot speak. Right? He can vote only by show of hands. Vote on show of hands, which means that he has a paper saying that Mr. X, who is a member of the company, so I am Mr. X, I am the member of company, I am appointing you as my proxy. நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம்? அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணலாம். அங்கே போய் பேசக்கூட முடியாது. அப்போ நீங்கள் அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது இந்த ரெசல்யூஷன் பாஸ் பண்ணும்போது உங்ககிட்ட எத்தனை ஓட் கேஸ்ட் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு கேட்குறாங்க. அப்போ யூல் பி ஹேவிங் அ பேப்பர் இன் யூர் ஹேண்ட் சேயிங் தட் நான் எத்தனை ஓட் உங்களுக்கு கேஸ்ட் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்கணும் அது மட்டும் தான் பண்ணுவீங்க. voting on show of hands கிடையாது. ஏன்னா மெம்பர்ஸுக்கு தான் அந்த ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஷோ ஆஃப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ரைட்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ இன்கேஸ் ஒரு சில கேசஸில் vote on show of hands இல்லைனா, because there will be so many business transactions taking in a company's general meeting, in that case all the business may not have vote on show of hands. In that case proxy has the right to demand for the vote on poll, which means that one vote one share, one vote one share. It's a beautiful point. So இப்போ think பண்ணி பாருங்க, company having no share capital, proxy அப்போ vote பண்ணலாம். அந்த கம்பெனியில் ஷேர் கேபிட்டல் இருந்தால் தான் voting by poll வரும். ஷேர் கேபிட்டலே இல்லைனா, if a company does not have share capital, he can just come and attend the meeting, அவ்வளோதான். So this is not applicable. அப்போ எதுவுமே பண்ணாமல் சும்மா அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு எதுக்கு நான் ப்ராக்ஸி அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணணும்? So no need to have a proxy, and here go with non-applicability, right? Revocation, yes, it's a beautiful point. You might have known more about things revocation, which is making a sense with taking it back. Okay, I take back the votes. So when I go for revocation, I may say, or it happens that proxy is not valid. Proxy is not valid. Again, you have to check with just not revocation, you have to check with valid revocation. It's not just with revocation, you have to check with valid revocation, which means that if, just think the same case, I am the member and I am appointing you as a proxy. This is what the case I was discussing earlier. I am the member and I am appointing you as a proxy. You are there in the meeting hall. சடனாக என்னோட வேலையெல்லாம் முடிஞ்ச பிறகு நானும் வந்து மீட்டிங் ஹாலில் ஜாயின் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். அப்போ நீங்கள் அங்கே உட்காரக்கூடாதுன்னு அர்த்தம். பிகாஸ் I am the person who has to be present because it's a shareholders meeting. ஸோ என்னால் வர முடியலங்கிறதுக்காக தான் நான் ப்ராக்ஸியை அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணேன். ஸோ இந்த கேஸில் the proxy will be invalid. That is a valid revocation. So proxy or validity எப்போ வரைக்கும் இருக்கும் members வர வரைக்கும். In case இப்படி வச்சுக்கலாம் 4 resolution pass பண்ணணும். Okay, there are 4 ordinary businesses. So 4 resolution pass பண்ணணும். அதில் 2 resolution is passed, 2 resolutions are passed. So 4 resolutions for ordinary business has to be passed. 2 resolution has to be passed. In that 2 is already over. 2 business is already over. ஆனால் இன்னொரு 2 business conduct பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்கு. Okay, so we are discussing like third C, conducting. Okay, இதை டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போது இன்னும் டீட்டெயிலாக பார்ப்போம். ஸோ 4 ரெசல்யூஷன்ஸில் 4 பிஸ்னஸஸில் ஆர்டினரி பிஸ்னஸ் 4 பிஸ்னஸஸில் 2 businesses ஓவர் 2 businesses to be conducted. நீங்கள் ப்ராக்ஸி எனக்கு பதிலாக இருக்கீங்க. You are attending the meeting and you have voted for 2 resolution also. Now I come then attend the meeting. I cannot argue for the completed business. I can argue or the proxy will stand invalid. I am currently present over there. So in the ரெண்டு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் revocation is not valid. இந்த ரெண்டு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் revocation valid. So there are 4 businesses, ordinary businesses. அந்த 4 businesses ரெண்டு முடிஞ்சிச்சு. ரெண்டு பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் revocation is not valid. ஏன்னா business is over. Proxy has attended. Proxy has voted. But இன்னும் ரெண்டு business yet to be conducted. இந்த ரெண்டு business பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் I am present there. So proxy becomes invalidated here. So this is a very important point with respect to proxies. Yes, next. Inspection. Yes, when I go for inspection 3 days notice has to be given. So எனக்கு பதிலா நீங்க proxy attend பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. Myself X, you are my proxy. Mr. Y doubts me. Okay, ஏன் இவர் proxy போடுறாரு? In case வந்து வேற ஏதாவது issues இருக்கலாம். அப்போ வந்து Mr. Y wants to inspect this proxy form. Yes, the access you have the right to inspect. If you are a member of the company, you have the right to inspect. So அந்த கேஸ்ல Mr. Y has to give a 3 days notice to the company. யாருக்கு? எனக்கு தர வேண்டாம். கம்பெனில டெபாசிட் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க ஃபார்ம் 3 டேஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி. எப்போ? ஆனுவல் ஜெனரல் மீட்டிங் நடத்துறதுலேருந்து 3 டேஸ்க்கு முன்னாடி, பிஃபோர் த கண்டக்ஷன் ஆஃப் தி ஆனுவல் ஜெனரல் மீட்டிங் டெஃபினெட்லி வி ஹேவ் டு கிவ் அ 3 days நோட்டீஸ். இந்த 3 days நோட்டீஸ் கொடுத்த பிறகு இந்த மாதிரி நான் இன்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தரணும். நோட்டீஸ் கொடுத்த பிறகு 24 hours before the meeting gets started, the inspection will be open. You can go and inspect. Not only Mr. Y, any number of persons can go and inspect. ஏன் நான் கூட இன்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். என்னோட ப்ராக்சிக்காகல Mr. Y is appointing a proxy அப்படி வச்சுக்கலாம். So I appoint you as a proxy. Mr. Y appoints somebody person as a proxy. I doubt there. So இந்த கேஸ்ல வந்து I can go and inspect Mr. Y's proxy. ஆனாலும் நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்? I have to give a 3 days notice. எப்போ இந்த இன்ஸ்பெக்ஷன் ஓப்பனாக இருக்கும்? மீட்டிங் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுற டைமில் வந்து till the start of the meeting 24 hours before that. So meeting வந்து today's Monday னு வச்சுக்கலாம். Meeting is going to be held on Wednesday 5 o'clock. So the meeting inspection hour ends on Wednesday 5 o'clock. So 2 days before. So Tuesday, Monday. So Monday 5 o'clock for 24 hours before. 24 hours before na 1 day. Sorry. So Tuesday வச்சுக்கலாம். So Tuesday 3 days notice கொடுத்த பிறகு Tuesdayலேருந்து Wednesday 5 o'clock meeting வரைக்கும் the inspection will be open. During the business hours you can go for inspecting, right? So with respect to proxy we have a detailed discussion, and when we are discussing about do's and don'ts also. When we go for do's, he can attend the meeting, he can demand for the vote on poll. If you go for don'ts, he cannot speak, he cannot vote on show of hands, he is not counted on quorum, because when you go for quorum we talk the members personally present. This is about details in quorum and the proxy. Here comes the second C and the second property.